Okay, so how come as soon as I hit record, the sun wanna move?
We got a good thing. Don't know if I'ma see you again.
Hello everybody, my name is Amber and I am the Black Directioner. If the sun keeps having issues and keeps making like the screen dark and shit, we're just gonna have to be moving, okay? So I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time. If y'all see me here, then y'all see me there, then y'all see me there or something. That's why. But hi everybody, welcome back to WOAH Wednesday. Okay, so again, WOAH Wednesday is not necessarily back permanently. You know, it's here every single chance that I get, you know, to take my time away from college shit to inform everybody on what the fuck is going on in the goddamn fandom. So, with that being said, it's another WOAH Wednesday where we talk about the things that are blowing up in our fandom. As always, we're going to be starting with the least problematic, which this week is Liam. Okay, really quickly, I wanted to like incorporate some drama from like last week into like this week, since we missed that whole last week and now we're coming back into this week. But here's that issue. I only know a couple things of what happened last week because last week was busy as fuck for me, so I don't really know a whole lot. And kind of sort of don't know a whole lot about this weekend either. Not this weekend, this week and stuff. So, you know, basically with all these WOAH Wednesdays in college, while I'm doing this in college form, I'm not going to necessarily know everything. I'm going to inform y'all on things that I screenshotted and things that I thought were important at the time. So if there is anything that I missed that y'all think needs to be informed, remember that you can always comment about it and I'll comment you back if I ain't know it. I'm gonna be like, damn, really that happened? You know, or you know, you're informing everybody else who's also watching WOAH Wednesday and you helping me out. So I'm sorry guys, like I'm mobile now, so it's not like I'm sitting down, so I'm gonna be moving a lot. Okay, so you know, aside from Liam's birthday, we're going did y'all hear that? We're going to be talking about something that, again, is happening with Cheryl. Liam's been gone. When hasn't Liam ever been gone? Liam's always gone, ever since he's been with Cheryl. Duh. I feel like there's not really necessarily anything going on with Cheryl and Liam, but I also feel like the tabloids are trying to make it into something, you know, even though ain't nothing happening. Because the Inquirer, is this the Inquirer? The Inquester, whatever they are, it says Liam Payne, Cheryl adrift. She might lose him to One Direction Hollywood real estate. She might lose him because he wants to buy some houses. See, it just doesn't make any sense. It's saying something about because he buys property in Hollywood, that means that they're just not going to be dating anymore. Please tell me, you guys, what kind of sense does that make? That don't make no sense. That's why I just feel like they're just coming up with shit now. Like they just ran out of things to say, so they were just like, oh, let's just come up with some bullshit and see if people will buy it. No. But other than that, that's all I have with Liam. So the next person we're going to move on to is Niall. I know y'all been hearing a lot about Niall this week. Yes, my baby is doing amazing and it's almost his birthday. So a lot of things have been going on with Solo Niall, bitch. Solo Niall, rise to the fucking stars because it's happening, you guys. It's happening. I was kind of sort of under the impression that Liam and Niall weren't really going to go into the whole solo issue because Louis got a whole kid, okay? So he on some daddy shit right now. And Niall, I just thought he was just going to stick with his golf and stuff because he was doing really good at it. You know, I didn't think that he would do a solo project, but then I think I talked about him doing a solo project before it actually came out because I'm psychic. He's about to do a fucking solo project. So somebody who sent me this, you know who you are, but somebody had sent me saying Niall and Shawn Mendes collab. You guys, I was so shook when I saw this. I'm like, what the fuck you mean he's going to collaborate with Shawn Mendes? That's crazy. Like that's a whole nother level type shit because of course we have Harry on his solo shit and Liam on his solo shit, but they have yet to tell us who they about to collaborate with. Niall's about to jump in this bitch and is just about to collaborate with Shawn Mendes, just straight up. But Niall has some deep ass connections, honestly. If you really think about it, he knows a lot of people and a lot of people know him, you know, that we probably didn't even know that he knew. And I just feel like he has a lot of underground stuff, so I think that that's helping him with his solo shit. So I just think it's pretty big because Shawn Mendes is big on the charts now, so I think it's really great that he's, thinking of collaborating with him, or not thinking, because it was indeed confirmed by, I think, Shawn Mendes. It was confirmed, okay? It's happening. When? We don't know yet, but it's going to be happening. Shawn had said to the Daily Star, I'll definitely be working with Niall very soon. I got a chance to speak with him recently, and we are definitely going to be writing together. Applause for this man. The next thing we have is that there were, of course, after this finally had came out, there was just shit, because there was just so many different hashtags, and there was so many different articles and stories and stuff just about Niall being solo in general, and one of those hashtags was hashtag we are ready for solo Niall. And there was one that was talking about Niall leaked single, which came out yesterday, and I was like, what you mean his leaked single? There's no way. And it wasn't. Everybody was just bored again and just wanted to do some shit. Be checky on those damn hashtags, because everybody been tripping lately with these hashtags. There's like a lot of things going around saying how he signed. I think he signed with Universal, which I think is like the opposite of what they're supposed to be signing with, because I think Universal is up against Simon's record deal shit or whatever, and people were like, oh well, Simon Cowell's not happy that Niall is leaving and is signing with Universal. And I'm like, I don't think Niall gives a shit. What I'm feeling like is that it seems like everybody's leaving Simon's record label and shit, and I feel like that should be throwing everybody a red flag. Why everybody want to leave him? They've been with this man for 5 years. You would think that they would want to stay with him, if he's helped them get this successful. But I feel like there's just something deeper that they're not able to tell us. There's some shit they weren't able to do. There's some shit they weren't able to tell everybody and tell the world and stuff because of this record label. And I think that's why they're dismantling from it. So bravo for them. Of course, whenever the solo part comes up, you always have the positivity and the greatness, and then you always have, some good side to it, but there's always going to be negative. This pissed me off, okay? So the Sun, with a bitch ass, talking about some top of the flops, be warned, Niall Horan going solo doesn't always work out so well. Now, what I'm upset about is the fact that Liam went solo. Harry went solo. Of course, Zayn went solo, but some people were iffy with Zayn on if he was going to make it or not. And look at him. Look at him. He made it. But didn't nobody say anything whenever Harry wanted to go solo, whenever Liam wanted to go solo. But the moment that Niall wants to go solo, everybody's all like, oh, he's going to flop. His shit is going to tank. It's just going to be awful. He just might as well not do it and stuff. And I'm mad because I'm like, I feel like maybe that's why he left the damn record label, because him being in One Direction hasn't given his full potential, honestly, per se, because Niall can sing, and I feel like he wasn't proven that he could sing until Zayn left, and like how they had to sing Zayn's verses and stuff. And whenever you hear that, you're just like, damn, like I knew. So it didn't shock me that Niall could sing. I knew Niall could sing, okay? But a lot of people still just don't think of it like that, and it sucks. And it's like, why? I'm just really upset that everybody else can come out, but the moment that Niall is like, hey, I want to go solo too, everybody's just like, no, your shit isn't gonna make it. You know what I mean? Like, I go to Sun again. See, now I'm gonna be like, this is some bullshit. But you know what? I don't feel like moving. I'm in the zone, so you're gonna see me go from bright to dark. As long as you can hear me, that's all that should matter. And so another of the negatives is that a lot of people were saying, and Zayn is a traitor and Liam is a snake for doing this. There was a lot of positivity towards Niall, which is great. I love it. That's awesome. We're supposed to be supporting our boys no matter what. Unless, it's something that shouldn't be supported. What this tweet is saying is that whenever Zayn went solo, more than half the fandom was pissed off about it and called him a traitor and still don't like him, because of that. And whenever Liam went solo, there was a lot of issues going on, and there was a lot of people who were mad about it, and apparently people were calling him a snake. But whenever Niall goes solo, he gets hashtags and articles. I mean, he got one thing that was said nasty about him, saying that he will flop. But that's it. That's all I've seen. That's all I've seen. I've seen so much shit with Zayn and Liam whenever they went solo, like a lot, you guys, like more than just they're gonna flop. Like, no, it was just a lot, So I kind of understand why they're upset about it, because you know, but again, at the same time, that's what this fandom is. This fandom has some strong ass double standards, and it's just like you gotta fucking think about it. You know what I mean? Because certain people everybody gonna bring down, other people everybody's gonna bring up, and it shouldn't be that way, but it is that way. That's all I have with Niall. So now we're going to move on to Harry. Okay, so I had heard that Dunkirk is officially over. You know, I thought it was over weeks ago, but it's officially done. The movie doesn't come out until 2017, so wait on it. Harry had dinner at LA hotspot Yasabel on Thursday night with Kendall Jenner and his manager. The reason why I'm telling you this and why the fuck you should care or why you shouldn't care or whatever is because apparently Harry and Kendall spent 3 days together, and now people are like, so they're dating again. It's just like ridiculous in a way because personally I genuinely still think that Kendall Jenner is gay as fuck, and of course I think Harry is too. So that's why I'm just like, I think they're just friends and they just talk about some shit. I don't really think that they're necessarily together, or maybe they are for the pap's sake. I don't know. Kendall Jenner and Harry Styles are maybe dating again, and whenever you read that article, it says something about they were alone for 3 days, and you know what that means: sex, sex, sex. And I was like, is it because it's Harry Styles or is it because it's Kendall Jenner? You know, because Harry has this reputation of sleeping around with a lot of women, and Kendall Jenner her family has the representation of sleeping around with a lot of guys. So I guess they're just like, you can't have those two people together for 3 days and they haven't fucked. And I'm just like, okay, I understand your logic and I get it, because I would understand it too if I didn't have the mindset of they're both gay as fuck in my mind. Also, somebody childish ass made this and it made it on a freaking headline. So I guess, so aside from Kendall, whenever you search Harry or Louis, y'all know what pops up? Larry Silenson. That's right. So there was some Larry shit that was going around that I found out about yesterday. Apparently it blew up, and I was just like, you guys, I might have been busy all last week and somewhat of this week, but I did not see this blow up. I just saw this shit yesterday and it was on YouTube, you know, so I don't know what y'all were talking about. But because it was on YouTube, I was able to watch it and hear what the fuck had happened. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm kind of spacey with this. So basically, a fan had inboxed Harry on Twitter, had said, you gotta confirm this for me. Is Larry real or not? Send me back an emoji if it is. And supposedly Harry had responded back to her and had said some shit, said some words, and had ended it with a 4-leaf clover emoji. Y'all know what a 4-leaf clover means anyway. That's right. Luck. So I don't know if that was just like maybe a little, hey, you know, the Larry Shivers might get lucky. And then there was a lot of rumors going around in the past couple months, and still that's going around, is that supposedly December is supposed to be the Larry month. I don't know, maybe some shit ends whenever Louis finally turns 25 this year, and maybe they're just like, yo, when I'm 25, fuck it, okay? We're gonna let everybody know, and we're gonna fucking be together like we already are, but it's gonna be public, and we're gonna get the goddamn child. We're gonna get the baby, because that's our baby, and we're gonna have this family, and we're gonna be happy about it. Because, you know, Louis is gonna be 25 years old, you guys. Like, damn, that's 5 more years to 30. I will be looking for a family by then, so he might be, if he already doesn't have it. So yeah, so, you know, that started going around whenever Harry did respond back to her with that 4-leaf clover at the end. So, of course, you know, a lot of Larry shippers was like, even in the article it says that some people had debunked it, some of the antis, and was just like, there's no way that this is real. This has to be photoshopped. And it's just like, is it really photoshopped, or do you want it to be photoshopped? Who knows? Honestly, I haven't even seen it, so I don't even know what to tell you. I couldn't even tell you if it was photoshopped or not. That's why I can't show you, because I don't know where it's at. But that's all open to interpretation on if you think it's real or if you think it's fake. I really don't believe anybody anymore whenever it comes to Larry, honestly, but myself. And until they say something like genuinely. But the fact that Harry did indeed reply to her kind of sort of is making me, you know, push over to the fact that, yeah, soon they gonna be out soon. But him replying could be Photoshop. You know, who the fuck knows? People like to blame a lot of debunked shit on the antis when there's a lot of Larry shippers who debunk Larry evidence, you know, in itself. Because some Larry shippers claim that everything is evidence when everything isn't evidence. You know what I mean? So, again, open to interpretation on if you believe it or not. I think that's it. Okay, so that's all I have with Harry. So now we're going to move on to Louis. Well, still, since we're kind of sort of on the subject with Larry, RBB has made a fucking reappearance, okay? RBB was at a motherfucking Little Mix concert. Not only is RBB life, but he went to a concert that was really going to give him life. And some people were saying that it was fake. Some people claimed that somebody had brought an RBB bear and put it on stage. I don't know, because whenever you hear it, that doesn't make sense. First of all, how the fuck were they able to get on the motherfucking stage and put a bear there and it not get removed by like security or something? Since when can you just jump on stage anytime you want to and just do whatever you want to the stage? Like, hell no. They don't know what the fuck is in this bear. What if it's like a bunch of bombs or some shit, you know? So I just feel like it was put there by somebody in the crew. Also, there's been a lot of Louis and Perry interaction on Instagram lately before the bear came out, and now the bear is on the Little Mix stage. Like, what are the odds of that? Hopefully, with all their interactions, this means that there's going to be a One Direction Little Mix collaboration, because I'm not allowed to die until that happens. Like, come on. Yeah, so I guess that's open to interpretation too, because some people think that Louis had gave the bear to Perry and was like, yo, this is a real deep symbol to me and my mans. You need to put this on the stage and let everybody else know that this is what it is, you know. But again, it's what you want to believe. And he also posted a photo of him and his brother and sister. There were a lot of rumors. Still don't know if it's true or if it's confirmed, but there were a lot of rumors going around saying that Louis and Danielle are officially over. Louis Tomlinson, who became a sensation after his successful entry into the music world by joining the London-based band One Direction, has reportedly broken up with his girlfriend Danielle Campbell. So, a lot of people are like, what the fuck? This is what I was trying to incorporate into the whole Harry Larry thing, because they were saying him breaking up with Danielle is just like, oh, okay, so now he's technically on the market. But now people are trying to push Harry with Kendall so that they can cover up the fact that Harry outed them or whatever. Don't fucking know. Still don't know if they actually broke up or not. Not 100% sure with that. Another thing that I did hear is that apparently Brianna has a boyfriend. So I was like, finally, bitch, it took you long enough. I've been telling you for like 5 videos to get yourself a man, okay? Because you continuously drooling over Louis when Louis said that he does not want to be with you is making you look bad. Get yourself somebody else, just like how he did. So I'm happy for her. What I'm not happy about is the fact that she's trying to rub her new man in Louis' face. Like, Louis got his own man. It probably will stir up some drama whenever it does come down to Freddie, because there's just a lot of shit that circulates with Freddie, and he's probably going to be like, hey, I don't want the man around Freddie. That's my kid. And then she's going to be like, I told you the same thing about Danielle, but you still had her coming around. So this is my new baby daddy. And, you know, then everybody's just going to get into a fist fight, and it's just going to be over with, and the baby's going to be mine. That's how the story is going to end. I'm going to have the child. Yeah, that's all I have with Louis. So now we're going to move on to Zayn. Zayn. Okay, so I remember telling y'all about the show that Zayn was doing that was supposedly about the boys and shit. Yeah, so I think I told y'all last time that was real, but yeah, if I didn't, it is. It's a real thing. He is indeed doing a show that's called Boys, and it's supposed to be about a boy band, and it's like supposed to have One Direction secrets all in it and shit. And I'm just like, okay, he's just doing everything, okay? He's writing a book, he got a TV show, he's just doing everything, ain't he? Simon jumped in on that and is talking about, since Simon Cowell weighs in on Zayn Malik's One Direction inspired TV show, he should have come to me. Again, I already told y'all I'm done with Simon. Simon, I just think is absolutely ridiculous. Maybe Simon ain't even saying this shit. You know, you can't trust the fucking tabloids. Maybe Simon isn't saying anything. Maybe Simon don't give a damn, but they trying to make it seem like Simon does. I don't know. I just know if he really does, I think it's dumb, and I think he shouldn't, because that just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, Zayn's not even under your fucking label anymore, dude. Why does he have to come and tell you what he should say about his experience in One Direction? That'd be different if he came out and was feeling all this shit about all the boys or something. No, it's just gonna be about him and about his experience in the bands and you know, stuff like that. So Simon dismissed. Zayn is developing a scripted series with Dick and Noel Wolf about his experience with One Direction on NBC. This series will be titled Boys. It will involve a formation of all the success, fun, pressure, and competition of being in a boy band. The last thing we're going to be talking about with Zayn would have to be the Dubai incident. So a couple months ago, I know a lot of y'all probably, you know, knew. When did this happen? I think this came out whenever he had performed on Jimmy Kimmel, I don't know, something like that. And you know, it had announced that Zayn, Mind of Mine, live in Dubai, October 7th, 2016. So everybody was just like, and I remember I was so upset because I'm like, man, why the fuck is it gotta be in Dubai? Why can't he come to the U.S.? You know, I would pay some tickets to go see Zayn and to see him perform this album and everything because I loved this album. Yeah, well, 2 days ago, the show was canceled. I was very shocked about the whole situation. I'm like, the fuck you mean the show is canceled? And turns out it's canceled because Zayn has been having really bad anxiety attacks and everything like that. Everything with his health is fucking with him and is not allowing him to do what he wants to do right now. So he had to cancel the show. I don't really know what really to say about this, okay? First thing I would like to say is that I don't know what Zayn's going through. I don't have anxiety, you know, so I can't speak on that and be like, oh, well, he can just do this and that or whatever. But I do know about anxiety, and I know it's not something that you can just push to the side and just go. Like, I know it takes a lot of time for you to be comfortable with some things that give you anxiety to begin with. And I remember whenever he first announced to us that he had anxiety, a lot of people were like, oh, maybe that's why he was so close with the boys, because the boys knew that he had anxiety and they tried to help him with his anxiety, and that's why, you know, they were always, you know, motivating him and stuff to go on stage, and that's why he wasn't on stage alone. You know, now he's on stage alone, and now it's kind of different for him, because it's not like he hasn't performed before, because he has. He's performed at quite a few things, and he's done good. Maybe now it's just really kicking in. I genuinely don't know. What I do know is that if I was in the situation of the fact that I bought a ticket, I would be at a solid 50-50 right now. Like, I would be happy that he didn't do this and push himself to do it, you know, because of his anxiety, because this is a health issue and everything like that. But I would be mad as fuck because I paid my money and I was hyped and excited. It was supposed to be next month, and I don't get a chance to see Zayn. That would piss me off. I'm not even gonna lie about that. That would piss me off with anybody. I don't care who it is. I would be mad. You know, if One Direction canceled on me, Little Mix canceled on me, you know, whatever, I would be pissed. I would be like, what the fuck you mean you're not coming? What you mean? What do you mean it's canceled? So what I'm hoping is that everybody got their money back. I don't know how they gonna do that. I don't know what, but I do know if they haven't gotten their money back yet, I hope Zayn realizes he need to try and get everybody money back, because that's not going to help him. A lot of the cancellations that he's doing is not helping him in the long run with getting people to come to his concert, because this isn't the first time he's canceled something that was pretty big. You know, that kind of sucks a lot. Just trying to put myself in the perspective of the fact that, let's say Zayn is coming to Dallas and I get my ticket. I get a good ass fucking seat that was like $300, okay? And like a week before it's time to go, I'm told that it's canceled. Shook, you know, triggered. What do you mean? You know, so it's just kind of hard. You know, it's kind of hard to be in that position, to not only be in the position of the fact that he has anxiety, but to be in the position of the fact that you were excited and ready to see him, and now you can't. So it's kind of hard to explain my feelings on this, because I don't want to sound like I'm being a bitch to him, because I'm not. I would have rathered him not do it and force himself to do it, and he has like a fucking anxiety attack on the stage and he drops and shit. So that's better than, you know, you going and he performs one song and passes the fuck out, and now you're just like, okay, is he alive or not, you know? So that's good in a sense, you know. I'm just saying, I feel like this whole situation is bittersweet, but I do hope that he gets better. I hope that things get better. I know that isn't there medicine for anxiety? Hopefully he can get him some of that and maybe go to some counseling and do something. I hope that he can do anything that he can to help him feel better whenever he's on stage, because it's it, buddy. You know, you're solo now, so you gotta try and do whatever you can to help yourself stay calm and feel better whenever it comes to stuff like this, because people are gonna want to stop coming to your concert, buddy. Okay, sadly, you know. So that's just all I'm saying. That's how I feel about it. But it is a health issue, and I am worried about his health more than anything. So hopefully he gets better, and hopefully things turn out for the best for not only the people who paid to go see him in Dubai, but also for him. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. It currently says I've been recording for 40 minutes, so I don't know how long this video is probably going to be, but a lot of y'all tell me that y'all really don't care if it's like 20 minutes or something, so that makes me feel better. But thank you guys so much. I hope y'all enjoyed the surprise WOAH Wednesday, and maybe you'll see me again next week. Maybe not. Maybe the week after that. Who knows? But basically, WOAH Wednesdays are surprises now, because you never know when I can and when I can't. Thank you guys so much for watching. If y'all do want to see 24/7 of me, because I know I've been gone for a week, which usually doesn't happen. If y'all want to see 24/7 of me, I definitely suggest that you follow me on Snapchat, because I always post on Snapchat no matter what. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. On Twitter, I don't really tweet, but I do retweet a lot of shit. So feel free to follow me on that. If there was anything that I missed or anything that you want me to talk about next time, you can always DM me on Instagram and or on Twitter, which again will be down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank y'all for staying with me. It really does mean a lot, and I'm going to be trying to do as best as I can to upload shit, you know, because not only for y'all, but this is what I enjoy too, you know. So I will surely see you guys next time. Remember to keep your head up and smile, and always know that somebody has your back. Bye.
And then we fly away, and we ain't running out of fuel. I'm running off of you. I'm running off of you.